personal game? Where do you think you're at?
It's been a rough couple weeks for myself personally. Just trying to get back on track and get myself mentally ready to help my team.
What do you think's key in that? What do you need to do differently to get back where you want to be?
I think it's just going hard at practice, and once you're confident in practice and being able to be dominant in practice, then the games become easier.
Fouls are fouls, and it doesn't matter as long as they're called. But man, it seems like a few of them have been a little nitpicky. Do you feel like at times it's like, how is this a foul? You got to be kidding me down here. Like, I mean, there was one this past week, and you literally didn't touch the guy, but he put a little shoulder into you, and then here we are.
Yeah, fouls have been very crazy lately, especially for me. But I guess that's the way they're calling it now, and that's something I have to adjust to, and that's what I've been really trying to work on is fouling less, because I know that if I stay in the game that we'll do better and we're more confident.
And Cal talks to us about asking different questions. Guys have to ask themselves different questions instead of the same one because they're getting the same results. What question can you ask that would be any different than before? Is there something, or is it for you? Maybe it is the same question. You just have to figure out how to answer it, kind of thing.
I think that's kind of true. Instead of asking why they're fouling or why they're calling a foul or why it's not going my way, I can ask a different question of how I can fix it or try to step back and try to figure out what's going on.
How does the team feed off of Tyler's energy?
Tyler is so competitive that it doesn't really matter what he's playing. So when he really gets into the game or into practice, you have to kind of either match it or he's going to go after you.
Is the foul thing something that kind of compounds itself when that's an issue and you think about it, and then maybe it happens more often, or is it just kind of? I mean, what has led to it maybe becoming more of an issue recently?
It's become more of an issue just because it's been an issue, especially just for me, because I'm one that I feel like I have to be on the court for energy. Like, I can't do what I do from the bench, and I can't help my team from the bench. So that's something I really need to stay focused on.
Is it tough to strike a balance between energy and trying not to foul?
Definitely, because those are two things that kind of collide. Having so much energy and learning when to back up and kind of play kind of conservative, and that's something I've been really trying to figure out.
Is it tough to sometimes not overlook somebody that doesn't have a great record? I know you've been here long enough that you know that everybody's coming after you because of the name on the front, and that's what Coach Barber just told us. But some of the younger guys, it's like, hey, it's Missouri. I mean, we've got this kind of thing. Were you ever in that position before, maybe as a freshman?
I feel like I wasn't as a freshman because my freshman year it was a little different, but this year they know exactly that we have to come and be ready for each game because each team could beat us at any moment. So I feel like our team kind of knows that already, that we have to be ready and kind of stick with just the first game and stay with that.
Maybe you've already talked about this, but foul trouble seems to be holding you back like a ton. You trying to do something different?
I'm definitely trying to foul less, but honestly, fouling has been something that it's really been a problem for me lately. Something I've been trying to work on because I know that I have to stay on the floor and have to do better. And I have to do better at not kind of just spacing out my fouls, learning that maybe one foul in the first half is fine, and then once in the second half it becomes easier. I can stay on the court.
Is that more of a mental thing or a physical thing or both?
I think it's both. Physically, I'm still not the strongest out on the court, but I have to find a way to do it differently.
Is it a little frustrating because you've worked so hard to get to this point, and now you can see it in front of you where you can play as much as you can, and now you're holding yourself back? Is that being fair or no?
No, I definitely think that's fair. I definitely see it being right there where I can help my team to the maximum ability, but the fouls is something that's keeping me from doing that, and that's something that I'm still trying to work on.
Defensively speaking, you guys have gotten a lot better in the last week or so. It's got to be a lot more fun, and why the change, which is a good thing.
I mean, especially in practice, we try to stay competitive and get into each other. Those last couple of weeks, we kind of backed up in practice and kind of wasn't very competitive, and that's something we really stressed this week is to stay competitive and go at each other.
Does that change the mindset when you go into a game when you're much more competitive in practice?
Definitely, because it makes you you put you in this competitive mindset the whole time, and once you get in the game, it's just drilled in your head that it just happens.
So how did that change? Cal walked in one day and said,